You've got the Radio 1 Punk Show with Mike Davis.
Okay, Citizen Fish, how's it going, guys?
Very good, thank you.
It's going fantastic.
Thank you very much for coming in and doing the session today. Is this the first one you guys ever done?
It is, yeah. And it's been great, a real eye-opening experience.
In all those years of being in punk rock bands?
Yeah,
this
is the one mountain we hadn't climbed.
So you can happily retire now. You've done everything you need to do.
No, we've got to walk back down that mountain. It could be tricky.
Exactly. You can never do something once and think it's got to be the best one ever. We'll do a better one next time.
Going back to the 1980s, you guys were involved in some, huge UK punk rock bands. How do we get from that point into where we are right now at Maida Vale?
What, in a really quick sentence? Let's go. Where were we? We were in the 80s. We were all coming out from school, not wanting really to work or anything like that. And we all decided that punk rock had been the most major influence on our lives. We got together and formed a band like everybody else was doing. Got lucky, invented a whole bunch of really good tunes, put out loads of LPs, loads of interest in it. Kept ourselves sort of fairly underground in the sort of anarcho-punk scene because we've got loads of lyrics about politics and that sort of thing. That was called the Subhumans. That went from 1980 to 1986. Whereupon we split, whereupon me, the singer Dick, went on, joined up with a band called Culture Shock, who were playing ska, reggae, punk, and who split up in 89, by which time Jasper, who is currently the bassist for Citizen Fish, was in Culture Shock. So when that split up, me and Jasper formed this band, Citizen Fish, which started in 1989 and is still going, along with Phil, who also used to be in the Subhumans, and Trotsky, who also used to be drumming for the Subhumans, and who also left a year ago to be replaced by Silas, who's standing over there.
On my right shoulder. Not on my right shoulder.
Is he very
He's
small?
Like a little leprechaun.
He's very small, he's got very big arms.
Well, that's not bad, spanning a 27-year history in less than 20 seconds.
It's the best way to do it.
That was very good. I'm impressed. So what were the bands that you guys were listening to that made you want to not work and be in a punk band?
Oh, just like Sex Pistols, The Clash. In a way, it wasn't really the bands. It was just like the whole musical genre, the way it all just came about. Suddenly anybody could be in a band, and all the long, drawn-out solos and occasional fast bits of all the stuff we've been listening to previously was all boiled down and condensed into like 3 minutes of raw, energetic music. And the lyrics were starting to say something that actually related to an everyday teenager's life.
Is this what you would have done if you could go back and do it all over again? Was it the right decision to start playing punk rock and be in a band?
Definitely,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
And why is that? For kids out there listening, just starting out in bands, what are the benefits? What are the upsides to being in a touring punk rock band?
I think it's the noise and volume's pretty exciting anyway, isn't it? Even if you can't play, just turn your amp up. It's the buzz, though, isn't it?
It's self-expression to the max, and you're doing it to music as well. And like music, it's just got that spinal, vinyl, tingling feeling that just like can't be written down. The effect of music affects everybody, and to actually be able to perform it is fantastic. For people to like what you're performing at the same time is even more better. And like you want to compare that to doing a 9-to-5 job, no matter what the job is. I think there's no comparison whatsoever.
And you get to see the world.
The travel, yeah. We've just been to Aberystwyth and Leicester.
So we've been playing the Split album you've done, or the Split album you've done with Leftover Crack for the last 5 months, 4 months, something like that. How did that all come about?
Fantastic enthusiasm from Sturgeon, basically. He'd been haranguing us for years to do something, and I think we kind of kept what's the term? Blowing him off.
Right, that's nice.
There might be another term.
Okay.
A more suitable one.
Yeah,
Easy.
But you know what I mean. And totally Sturgeon originally, it's fantastic enthusiasm, and he made it all happen. He says, "Come on, let's do it," and he suddenly gave us a deadline to pull his fingers out, and
hence the name.
Yeah.
How did the covers come about? Why did you decide to do Choking Victim and Leftover
Again, that
Crack
was
covers?
a Sturgeon idea because he really loved the Subhumans and Citizen Fish, and he wanted to do a cover version of one song by each band, and he just gave us carte blanche to do a cover version of any Choking Victim or Leftover Crack song. So we had a crack at that, and that was good fun.
We only had a few days to record it and get it done. So we had to write the songs. We had no songs when the whole idea of it came along. So all these so all the Citizen Fish songs on it were written in the space of a few days in sunny Bath.
So you recorded 4 songs for this session today. What's the first one that we can hear right now?
The first one is Working on the Inside.
In session on the Punk Rock Show, this is Citizen Fish.
How to change the world? But what a question! Too many answers, bend and snap. on to say that working on the inside really works, they get the sack. But you can't pretend you're an instant friend to the people who want your soul on tap. Question is, how far did you get? Well, I've been there and I ain't going back. Ain't going back. I ain't going, working on the inside. With this experience, I know your enemy, and there's a choice you don't want to make. Can you weather the defeat of discovery, or can you live with the old damn cake? All defensive, never changing. Changes when the chance has gone. Question is, how far do you go? Oh, what do you mean? I won't be long. I won't be long. I won't be working on the inside. Now it's us and them when they're not our friends, and part of the picture when they are. Too many coins keep flipping me off. You've got too near, now it's gone too far. You've got to, it's got to. It's when it's screwed by politics, apathy, religion and crack. But playing the game is just more of the same. I ain't been there, and I ain't going back. No, I ain't been there, and I ain't going back. No, I ain't been there, and I ain't going back. And I ain't been there, and I ain't going back. And I ain't been there, I ain't going back.
The Radio 1 Punk Show with Mike Davis.
We're going to hear some more songs that they recorded live at Maida Vale, but right now we're going to talk more with Citizen Fish. Guys, how's it going?
Fantastic.
Ace.
Still brilliant.
Still brilliant. Okay. Talk to me about being in a punk rock band in 2007 as opposed to being in a punk rock band in 1980. Is it even worth discussing, or is it so different that it just would take hours?
Friendlier, more self-policing, more positive, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say it's
in
more
these
positive.
days, yes.
A lot less violence going on.
Yeah, more variety of kids turning up. There's not so much everybody trying to look the same as each other anymore. The whole uniform identity crisis thing is just sort of blown away as people started thinking about what it meant to be an individual, rather than trying to fit along with what papers used to say was a fashionable way to look punk rock.
So you think it's actually better now? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like, it should be there for anybody to listen to, really, and just get along with, rather than feeling they should have to fit into a clique.
What about stuff like Warped Tour? I mean, is it the same kind of punk rock mentality that you guys believe in?
It's more on the corporate side of things than we are, definitely. But there again, you know, I mean, Clash and the Sex Pistols weren't exactly on DIY tape distros, were they?
It's very true. It's the forever going punk rock conversation about what is and what isn't, and it's really boring. I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, you go. Bring it up. I think it needs bringing up, because for all these kids who think punk rock begins and ends with the Warped Tour, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on the sort of what you might call the smaller scale down where we are, or even further down than where we are, whatever you want to call it. But there's bands just doing things completely by themselves and like reaping their own rewards by putting their own effort and energy into it, and not involving a whole bunch of third parties who just take their money and make profits off people's music. All the money, if any's going to be made, should be made by the bands themselves and making the music. Nobody should get ripped off in the process, then everybody's happy.
When are you guys going to get back in the studio and record a full length?
When we've written some songs, we haven't got any yet.
That's true.
We're going to make some up on October. About the 23rd's a good day. Do you know that, lads? We
Yeah.
are.
It's
Hey,
like- yeah.
I was thinking maybe the 15th.
Everybody put it in your diary.
yeah.
No, next year, definitely, there's a target for getting a full length out.
Will that be on Fat, or you have no idea yet?
Blurg Records. We started putting out our own stuff again. The Subhuman's new one, which is called Internal Riot, by the way, will be out on Blurg Fish 50, because we finally got to the point where we can actually afford to finance it ourselves. So we're going to do it that way.
Okay. Then you will be touring over here at some point in the near future?
We're hoping to get to the States in November.
With the Fish?
Yeah, with the Fish.
Okay.
And
then
Subhumans are going to be there in August, September.
And then you'll be playing Rebellion Festival in Blackpool as well.
That's correct. Yeah, both bands, Fish and Subhuman.
Yeah, that's right.
If people want information about what coming up for you guys and releases and whatever else, is the best one the MySpace page? Or?
Yeah, the MySpace pages have got it all on.
MySpace.com/CitizenFishOfficial.
That's correct, yeah.
And you already have recorded an extra track for our online webpage. What's that going to be?
It's called Back to Square One. That's going to be available for the download, yeah.
And if people want to check that out, it'll be online, bbc.co.uk/Radio1, then click on Mike Davis. And the next two songs we're going to hear that you recorded at Maida Vale are what?
Meltdown and Habits.
And Habits, okay. Well, guys, thank you very much for coming in, and keep in touch.
Can we just say a quick thank you to our brass men for the day as well, which is Alex on trumpet and Matt on trombone, and they recorded Deadline with us as well. But while we've just been out on our recent gigs, we had a young guy called Minty, who's only 19, and he did a fantastic job with us. So cheers, Minty.
Nice one.
Recorded live at Maida Vale. This is the first song you're going to hear from Citizen Fish. It's called Meltdown.
Once upon a time, this is almost true. When the sun came out for a day or two, it would lead the war to the top of the news. This'll make no sense in 2102. Where the antiques shine, where the rivers once flowed, and the ground remembers I've been no sunshine at all. And waterfalls. Where did the waterfalls go? Welcome to the Meltdown. Amazing how close to total collapse it gets when you have to turn off the taps. The plastic surgery starts to crack, and now you can't have your money back. Not sure where it went, but it's all been spent on carbon-based industrial waste recall. And it's all too late. Where did the oxygen go? Welcome to the Meltdown. Ice with that.
Well, I'll draw you a map
To the tourist resort
on the polar cap,
where the drinks included menu states.
make the most of it
Before it's too late, one drop at a time.
on a slow decline.
We had it all figured out. One drop at a time on a slow decline. And then the water ran out. 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 Welcome to the Meltdown. Then the water ran out. 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 Well to the Meltdown. I wake up every morning and think today's the day. The taste is repetition and throws it all away. I stumble to the toilet, then the kitchen for some food. I cannot do without it, but it's what I always do. And it's the next door neighbour discarding his TV. No more life in 2 dimensions. Less than 2 weeks later, his face is like a screen. Well, now he's got a bigger one. Habit retention. It's a habit. Well, I had it. Then I lost it. And now I want it back again. Manning the machinery and dreaming of the day. He'll get to see some scenery and have an holiday. Now he's won the lottery, he'll never work again. Unless of course they ask him back, the cycle never ends. It's a habit. Well, I had it. Then I lost it. And now I want it back again. There's people out there travelling so fast it's just insane. Always rushing to get back there. Home is where the car is parked and then it's off again. The fear of immobility, you're just sat there. I'm gonna throw it all away. 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 Now I want it back again. Now he wants it back again. You can't have it back again. No, no. Happiness invisible until it falls apart. Left clutching for security and groping in the dark. Oh, what are we relying on? So much do we get bored with having it, needing it, only wanting more. I'm gonna throw it all away. I'm gonna do something today. Something that I haven't done before. It could be almost anything. I don't want to make a habit of it. It's a habit. Well, I had it. And then I lost it. And now I want it back again.
Punk rock, hardcore, rockabilly, psychobilly, dub, and ska. The Radio 1 Punk Show with Mike Davis.